when your vocal coach is dying. So, hi singers, welcome back to my vocal coaching channel. My name is Michal.Towber, you can call me Miki. And today I have a little friend. This is Alexander. Hello. This is my sister's dog. She just moved down to South Carolina and I am watching her dog for a few days before my parents bring him down to relocate. So he's been an excellent little guest, but I call him my dingleberry because he has to be stuck to me at all times. So he literally has to be in my lap or he has a meltdown. So we're going to be doing the video with the dog in my lap. Today, I'm going to be doing another reaction video. This is a viewer requested video. I'm going to be looking at Halsey's performance of Without Me live from the 2018 Victoria's Secret fashion show. So I have to be honest, I did not know the first thing about Halsey before I watched this performance. I listened to the album version first, and then I watched this video and we're gonna watch it now together. So I really don't know a lot about her. I don't know a lot about her singing or her history or anything like that. So it's gonna be a very first impression kind of reaction. So here we go.
Please welcome Halsey.
Bold outfit choice. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop it here for a moment and describe to you the scene. It's a very, very long runway and it kind of looks like a seashell or some kind of like Art Deco decor. It's these like folded, almost like paper fan type of things that are projecting off of the back of the stage, then this long runway, and then there's galleries of spectators on either side. And she's in the middle of it, she's singing with her microphone, and she's wearing a feather skirt, a long feather skirt, and these like feather appliques on her eyebrows. She fits in perfectly with the aesthetic of the show. She's very, very petite and thin, and she looks like she could be one of the models other than her short hair, since you don't really see Victoria's Secret models with short little pixie haircuts. Very, very pretty. She could be a model herself, and we all know that Victoria's Secret is not very diverse when it comes to body types. They have tried to incorporate more diversity in terms of ethnicities, but they're not great about having diversity of body types, and Halsey certainly fits the skinny model aesthetic. So visually, that's what's going on. Okay, so in terms of her singing, it sounds like she is using auto-tune live, and her voice is very pop, meaning that it's not this like dark, rich, resonant, kind of bluesy or gospel-y sound. So I've talked a lot about Kelly Clarkson on my channel before, and she's somebody that has that really, that kind of like bluesy, back-placed, really rich, resonant voice. Halsey is much more neutral or forward placed, and her voice almost sounds like it's like childish and very, very bright. So it's much more up here. And it's also, even though it's well supported, you can hear that she's using good breath support. I wouldn't say that it's excellent breath support. She doesn't have a very strong lock on her column of air, so she's getting a lot of that really breathy kind of aspiration where her chords are not completely adducting or zipping up. So you're not getting this very crisp, very supported, precise, focused sound. You're hearing a lot of air and exhalation behind her tone. So you also hear this very, very tight, quick vibrato in her tone, which may be due to nerves. I don't know if that's naturally part of her tone, but a lot of times when people get nervous, they get that very, very quick kind of wobble in their tone. So I'm hearing a little bit of that. And then she also is losing some of the notes when she flips into her head voice. So when she flips into the da 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 da, you get a very, very weak kind of sound where she's almost not even getting any tone. She's just getting air. So her vocal cords are not adducting. She's just getting and then a little tiny bit of tone. So that could be due to nerves. This is such a weird context for a singer to be performing in. I'm sure that she's a very, very experienced performer when it comes to performing in a more traditional venue. But this is like in a fashion show, so she's being taken out of context. And I think probably that's a little bit unnerving to kind of be out there with all these models and not in your normal environment. So even an experienced performer is going to feel a little bit jarred when they're in this environment. So I do hear that little wobble in her voice and a lot of that whispery kind of fluty tone when she's flipping into her head voice that sounds very weak and breathy, and she's not able to get those nice connected high notes up there. You see some of the models actually looking very nervous before they go on to walk on the catwalk. So it seems like a very heightened kind of environment. So she is getting a little bit of a nice vocal fry kind of distortion on some of her notes that gives it like a little bit more bite and rock edge, like And so that's achieved by bringing your soft palate down a little bit, and it's happening above the voice box. So you can hear that she's using a healthy kind of fry to get that distortion. She's not scraping through her throat. So that's a nice little effect that she's using. So you can hear when she does it, maybe, right? She's getting that very, very whispery, maybe the sky doesn't ever get lonely, and everything is happening up here. It's in that like nasopharynx kind of area. It's very, very bright and almost like innocent and childish sounding, very, very pop. Nice little fry there. Wow. She's busy holding the model's hand and walking down the catwalk. She's interacting very, very nicely with the performers. So now she's getting a little bit more power towards the end. She is sounding a little bit more supported here. So overall, vocally, I think she has a very, very sweet, nice voice. I don't think she has an incredible voice. She doesn't have like a powerhouse voice. She's not really belting in her chest range. She's using a mixed voice throughout, and her voice is very, very bright and childlike. It's very, very front placed. And her head voice she's losing power and she's getting a lot of aspiration. She's not keeping that nice breath support and that connectedness. And I can hear her nerves a little bit. I can hear that really tight wobble in her vibrato. I think it works for the song. I think it definitely works for this style of music. It's very pop. She's a good choice of performer for this type of event. You wouldn't want to have this super belty, kind of strident singer in this environment because everything is kind of feminine and delicate and these very delicate kind of creatures, you know? Everything works. But, you know, for my personal preference, I'm not a huge fan of these very bright, kind of gentle, childish pop voices. And I don't love the use of auto-tune. I don't even like it in like studio recordings as an effect. I mean, it doesn't sound like she has bad pitch or she's not singing in pitch, even if she didn't have the auto-tune on her voice. It doesn't sound like she's out or anything like that. I think it is more of a stylistic choice, but I don't love it personally. It's a cool song, and I watched the music video for it, and I can definitely relate to the emotion of it. And I think that it's a very, very strong kind of message of wanting to save somebody who is on a self-destructive path and thinking that you can kind of save them with your love and then feeling betrayed when they kind of take advantage of you. And I think that's a very strong, powerful message. And from what I understand about Halsey, she has had a pretty troubled past and a really interesting path to stardom. And so I think lyrically and songwriting wise, it is an interesting song. So I think overall this performance works. I don't think it's the greatest live performance I've ever seen. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed my reaction, and Alex and I hope you have a wonderful week. Say bye-bye, Puppo. We'll see you here next week for another singing tip. Until then, happy singing.